On May 12, 2026, a woman named Twisha Sharma was found dead in her matrimonial home in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. She was 33 years old. She had been married for exactly 5 months, and she was found on that very same date, May 12th. Exactly 1 year earlier, she had been engaged and set to begin a new chapter of her life, never knowing that the very same date meant to symbolize a beginning would one day become the day she would be found dead. Police called it a suicide. Initially, it looked like a suicide from the surface, but if you step closer, not too close, just a step, the cracks seemed to appear. Her family called it something else entirely, and within days, what looked like a tragedy became a case that would reach Supreme Court of India and be talked about all over the social media. I am your host Danya,
And I am Rania,
and welcome to the Everything Dark podcast.
a podcast that dives deep into the world of weird and the wicked.
Today we are covering the case of Twisha Sharma, not because it's a spectacle, but because the facts of this case demand attention. We are going to go through the timeline, the evidence, the procedural failures, and the questions that remain unanswered, carefully and with respect to the victim. Let's start at the very beginning. Who was Twisha Sharma? Twisha Sharma was originally from Noida in Uttar Pradesh. By most accounts, she was someone who seemed to have everything going her way. She had built an impressive and a varied life before her marriage. She held an MBA degree, worked in marketing and communications. Apart from the corporate world, she was a certified yoga trainer. She had competed in beauty pageants and was a former Miss Pune contestant. She had worked in both Tollywood and Bollywood films and advertisements. Friends and family described her as ambitious, cheerful, and deeply attached to her family. In 2024, she matched with a man called Samarth Singh on a dating app. He was a practicing advocate, a lawyer based in Bhopal. Their relationship moved quickly, and on May 12, 2025, both families met formally, and the couple got engaged that same day. In December 2025, they tied the knot. Twisha moved from Noida to Bhopal like many women do after marriage, to her husband's home in Katara Hills, an upscale residential area of the city. 5 months later, she was found dead in that very home she moved to for a brand new beginning. Now let us talk about the in-laws. Their background becomes crucial as we dig deeper into the case, because much of the investigation and much of the speculation that followed is centered around them. Before we get to the night of May 12th, there is important context. Twisha's in-laws were not an ordinary family in Bhopal. Her mother-in-law, Giribala Singh, is a retired district judge, a former officer of the court. Her husband, Samarth Singh, as we mentioned earlier, is a practicing advocate in the Madhya Pradesh legal system. I mention this not to prejudge anyone. All parties are presumed innocent unless proven otherwise. But it matters for understanding the investigation that followed, the allegations of influence, and the questions around why evidence was handled the way it was. Now let's talk about the night of May 12th, the timeline and its gaps. On the afternoon of May 12th, nearly at 3:12 pm, as reported on News Herald India, Twisha visited a salon where she reportedly spent nearly 3 hours before leaving at approximately 6:15 pm. According to the salon owner, she appeared calm like any other customer and had gotten a head massage and a pedicure. Nearly an hour later, at 7:20 pm, she is seen in a CCTV footage walking towards the terrace of the family home. We will attach the CCTV footage on our Instagram page at Everything Dark Podcast. And nearly an hour later, at 8:20 to 8:30 pm, the same CCTV footage captures three men, allegedly including her husband, performing CPR and then carrying her body downstairs. That's a gap of roughly 1 hour between when she was last seen alone and when the men appeared with her body. Now, here's where it gets deeply troubling. 10:50 pm is the time of death recorded in the FIR filed by the police. That's nearly 3 hours after the CCTV reportedly captured her being carried downstairs. A 3 hour gap. And this raises several questions. Was the CCTV timestamp incorrect? Was the official time of death wrongly recorded? What happened in those 3 hours between the CPR footage and the official declaration of death? Why was the police station not informed immediately? To this date, these questions are still unanswered. The post-mortem examination at AIIMS Bhopal was the first formal attempt to establish the cause of death, and almost immediately it was compromised. Here is the critical procedural failure confirmed publicly by police themselves. The belt, the item which police say Twisha used to hang herself, was not submitted to the forensic doctors during the post-mortem. Let me say that again because it matters enormously. In a case where hanging is the alleged cause of death, the ligature material, the item used, is the single most important piece of physical evidence. It is what doctors examine to match against the marks on the body. The belt was recovered from the scene by the police, but the investigation officer did not bring it to the autopsy. Because the belt was missing, forensic doctors at AIIMS Bhopal were unable to match the ligature marks on Twisha's neck with the alleged belt used as the hanging material. The head of SIT Special Investigation Team, ACP Rajneesh Kashyap, later publicly acknowledged this lapse. He confirmed the belt had been secured from the scene but was not submitted at the time of the autopsy. He stated it had since been sent to Forensic Science Laboratory. A second postmortem was subsequently ordered by Madhya Pradesh High Court, conducted by a four-member specialist team from AIIMS Delhi, which was scientifically documented and recorded to ensure transparency, led by renowned forensic expert Dr. Sudhir Gupta, who flew to Bhopal aboard a special aircraft arranged by the state government. The second autopsy took place around May 24th or 25. There was also reported discrepancies in the basic physical measurements in the first autopsy report. Twisha's height was recorded as 166 centimeters. Her family and associates say her actual height was 176 centimeters. This is a 10 centimeter error in an official forensic document. Twisha's age, according to family, were incorrect in various sections of the FIR, which the family says is a sheer case of negligence and compromise which needs a proper examination. But it wasn't just the first autopsy. The belt was absent from the second one too. It has now emerged that even AIIMS Delhi was not provided with the belt. Officials later claimed the evidence was still with the Forensic Science Laboratory and issued formal requests to retrieve it. This means the critical piece of ligature evidence was missing from both post-mortem examinations. And as mentioned earlier, it is a crucial forensic evidence directly connected to the actual death. If the material, width, texture, or pattern of the belt matches the marks on Twisha's body, it could strongly support or contradict the official theory of how she died. The CBI's re-registered FIR reveals that at around 10:20 pm on the night of May 12th, Twisha's husband informed the police that his wife died by suicide. An important detail to note here is that the FIR records the cause of death as ante-mortem hanging by ligature. However, it also notes something far more significant: the presence of quote multiple ante-mortem injuries, simple in nature, possible by blunt force unquote, on other parts of the body. In forensic terms, ante-mortem means injuries occurred while the victim was still alive. Blunt force injuries generally refer to trauma caused by impact with a hard object or surface. These details are likely to become one of the central focuses of the CBI's investigation. What followed gave rise to a series of allegations and counter allegations from both families, each presenting a very different version of events. Twisha's family had made a series of serious allegations, although they have not at all been proven in court. However, given the direction of the investigation and public attention surrounding the case, they deserve to be laid out clearly. The first allegation was one of financial coercion. Twisha's sister has alleged that after the marriage, Twisha's husband pressured Twisha to transfer financial assets and open joint bank accounts in both their names. Her family also alleged severe mental and emotional harassment. According to them, in weeks leading up to the death, Twisha described herself as feeling, quote, trapped in messages sent to friends and family. Those alleged final messages have since been circulating online. Though their authentication is part of the ongoing investigation, we will be sharing it on our Instagram page at Everything Dark Podcast along with the CCTV footage. Another point raised by her family was her physical decline. Her family says she had lost approximately 15 kgs of body weight since moving to Bhopal, which is a significant and sudden change for a woman who was a certified yoga trainer. Another one of the most discussed details in this case is that Twisha's family alleges Twisha had already purchased a train or a flight ticket to return to Noida permanently. The departure date was May 15th, just 3 days after the day of her death. Twisha's family has also alleged that she was pregnant at some point during the marriage and was pressured or forced to have an abortion. This is part of the formal investigation and has not yet been independently substantiated. Although Giribala Singh claims Twisha informed Samarth over a phone call that she had taken medical termination pills while he was at work, against the family wishes. Twisha's father additionally accused Samarth Singh of substance abuse and has also alleged attempts to influence the investigation itself. Police say these claims have not yet been evidenced. The accused later gave interviews to sections of the media where certain remarks about the deceased were widely perceived as insensitive, sparking public outrage online. Adding fuel to the fire, Twisha's advocate Anurag Srivatsav went on record with startling allegation that inside the courtroom of the district court in Jabalpur, Samarth Singh was found sitting comfortably in the dark, with all the lights switched off, wearing a mask, and the judge was not even on the dais. He directly questioned whether this was the hand of his mother, retired Judge Giribala Singh, at play. In the immediate aftermath of Twisha's death, Samarth Singh, her husband, absconded. Bhopal police announced a cash reward of Rs 10,000, later increased to 30,000, for any information leading to his arrest. His passport was cancelled. A court rejected his anticipatory bail application. Approximately 10 days later, Samarth Singh surrendered to police in Jabalpur. He is currently in 7-day police custody. Investigators also conducted a systemic sweep of the entire residence, including Twisha's room, which had been sealed to find any possible suicide note or any other evidence relevant to the investigation. Police further seized Samarth's laptop, mobile phone, passport, and government-issued ID card. His mother, Giribala Singh, the retired judge, has also been booked. Her application for anticipatory bail was rejected. Samarth Singh's statements to investigators reportedly claims that Twisha had developed emotional problems and substance dependency during the marriage. Police have publicly stated these claims have not yet been substantiated by evidence. During interrogation, investigators noted significant inconsistencies. Sources within the SIT say that when pressed about his movements during the days he was absconding, Samarth gave vague and contradictory answers. He also made new claims during the questioning, alleging Twisha had been deeply distressed following a recent abortion. though investigators expressed open skepticism about his cooperation throughout. The Madhya Pradesh High Court pointed three damning reasons for cancelling her bail. First, WhatsApp chats that allegedly laid bare of harassment, pressure on Twisha to abort her pregnancy, and sustained mental abuse. Second, after initially getting bail, Giribala Singh chose to hold a press conference, not to cooperate with the investigation but to tarnish the image of the very woman who had died in her home. And the third, the court flagged something that made this case uniquely alarming. Giribala Singh was a retired judge, trained in cyber forensics and crime scene management, the very expertise that should serve justice, the court noted, could have been used to tamper with evidence. Now let's look at where the formal investigation stands. A special investigation team was formed constituting Bhopal police shortly after the case gained national attention. However, on May 25, 2026, the Supreme Court of India took suo motu cognizance of the case. That means the court intervened on its own initiative without waiting for a petition. The court directed the state to hand over the investigation over to the CBI. During the hearing, a statement made by Solicitor General Tushar Mehta left a profound emotional impact in the courtroom. Speaking in context of women trapped in unhappy or abusive marriages, he said, quote, "For parents, it is far better to have a divorced daughter than a dead daughter." Unquote. It was a line that resonated far beyond the courtroom, not just as a legal argument, but as a painful reminder of how many families realize the seriousness of suffering only after it is too late. The hearing also addressed specific procedural lapses like the delay in registering the FIR, the failure to preserve and submit the crucial ligature evidence during the autopsy. The Madhya Pradesh High Court had earlier already ordered the second post-mortem and constituted a medical board. Both the High Court and the Supreme Court are now actively monitoring the case. The order was acted on immediately. The CBI arrived in Bhopal on evening of May 25th, re-registered the FIR originally filed at Katara Hills police station, now formally naming Samarth Singh and Giribala Singh as accused under sections pertaining to cruelty and dowry harassment, and began its investigation the very next morning. On May 26th, the CBI team visited the crime scene at Katara Hills residence and then proceeded to meet Twisha's family members separately. The investigation has officially moved out of the state's hands. As a host, I want to be very clear about what this case is and is not at this stage. Twisha Sharma's cause of death has not been definitively established. Samarth Singh and Giribala Singh are accused, they are not convicted. The India's legal system, like any other, operates on presumption of innocence. What we have is this: a woman who, by her family's accounts, was in distress for months before her death, a serious gap of hours in the official timeline on the night she died, a critical piece of forensic evidence that was not presented at the autopsy, a husband who absconded for approximately 10 days before surrendering, a case that has now been escalated to India's highest court. Whether this is a case of abetment to suicide, dowry-related homicide, or something else entirely, that is for the investigation and the courts to determine. What we can say is that the questions raised are serious, and the system appears, at least at the Supreme Court level, to be taking them seriously. In the bigger context, this case does not exist in isolation. Under Section 80 of BNS, dowry death is a cognizable offence carrying a minimum sentence of 7 years. Under Section 85, harassment by a husband or his relatives is a criminal offence. These laws exist, and yet, according to data from India's National Crime Records Bureau, tens of thousands of dowry-related deaths are recorded in India every year, and that figure reflects only reported cases. We can't imagine, let alone enumerate, the amounts of unreported cases. What the Twisha Sharma case has done is force an open conversation about evidence integrity investigative accountability, and the institutional challenges faced by families seeking justice when the accused hold positions of social or legal influence. Twisha Sharma was 33 years old. She had a career, a family who loved her, a passport full of ambitions. She had a ticket home. We don't know yet what happened on the terrace of that house in Katara Hills on the evening of May 12th. But the families who loved her deserve answers. And those answers have to come through a rigorous, independent, and transparent investigation, not one compromised by missing evidence or 3 hour gaps in the official record. This brings us to the end of today's episode. This is the Everything Dark podcast. We will be back soon. Make sure to follow and rate our show. Until then, take care. Bye bye.